Well, kiss my cargo pants and call me Clutch. Welcome back to the Deep South Podcast, the only show brave enough to shotgun truth with a raccoon and wrestle conspiracy theories barefoot in a gas station parking lot. I'm your host, your myth, your mildly radioactive uncle, Possum Paw McGraw Jr. And I got a tale so wild it'll make your truck cry diesel tears. So it all started last Tuesday about 4:13 p.m. right after my third lunch and my second attempt to microwave beef jerky. I cracked open a Budlight can from 1998, limited edition with the Jeff Foxworthy quote on the tab. I took a swig, looked down, and right there, scratched on the bottom with what I assume was a jailhouse fork, was a treasure map. I wiped off the rust, flipped it in the sunlight, and could barely make out the words. It said, "Seek the sacred can, X marks the outhouse." So, naturally, I called my emergency adventure contact. Bigfoot. Big old Sasquatch picked me up behind the Dollar General on Highway 3. He don't talk much, but we got a psychic redneck bond, like cousins separated by biology and evolution. Now, let me tell you, I ain't walked in years. I'm a firm believer in wheels, flotation, and being carried by mythological beasts. So, Bigfoot gave me a full-day piggyback ride. My thighs were swinging like church bells on Easter. We're going through mud swamps, vine tunnels, a camp of hostile jugglers, and at one point we got chased by a goose that was definitely government-issued. Bigfoot tripped over a possum. I fell face first into a pile of mushrooms shaped like Richard Nixon. We ran from a haunted drone and briefly joined a cult that worshiped mayonnaise. Still, we pushed on, 'cause freedom smells like sweat, confusion, and light beer. Finally, we found the X right in front of an abandoned outhouse, guarded by a very territorial squirrel with trust issues. Bigfoot tackled it with the grace of a shirtless linebacker. We dug for hours with nothing but a rusty spork and a hubcap. Finally, we hit metal. I pulled it up. It was a tin of empty chewing tobacco. I opened it, and inside was a single greasy scrap of paper. That paper said the real treasure was the friends we made along the way. Hell, I screamed, Bigfoot cried. A bald eagle circled overhead and dropped a single judgmental feather. Now, it's time once again for the segment where wisdom meets wildlife. Redneck mail time. All these letters were delivered by my trusty possum courier, Lieutenant Grits. He's missing an eye and once stole a priest's wallet. Now, letter number 1 comes from Cooter in Tallahassee. He says, "Possum Paw, is it true FEMA is training raccoons to spy on Americans?" Well, absolutely. I caught one wearing a GoPro and taking notes on how I butter corn. Letter number 2 comes from Janet in Arkansas. She says, "What's the best way to repel liberal energy from your garden?" Hell, plant American flags in each corner and play Toby Keith every morning. It should keep the actual liberals out of your garden, too. Letter number 3 comes from Uncle Randy, and it doesn't have an address. But anyway, Randy says, "You ever eat a grilled cheese made entirely out of Slim Jims and Hope?" Buddy, I ate one last Thursday. It changed my life. Now, Bubbles is number 4 over in Alabama. He says, "What's Bigfoot smell like?" Well, he smells like wet cedar, Fritos, and freedom. Letter number 5 seems to be anonymous, and it's written in crayon on a Waffle House napkin. It says, "Are you just making this stuff up?" And, buddy, I'm only making up the parts that sound true. So, what did I learn from this here beer can map adventure? Not every treasure is made of gold. Some are hairy, some are swampy, some carry you like a majestic forest-scented Uber with no brakes. This is Possum Paw McGraw Jr. telling you, trust the rust, pack extra jerky, and never underestimate a possum with a mailbag and a grudge. Tune in next week when I investigate whether the Liberty Bell is actually a teleportation beacon for Amish time travelers. Until then, keep digging, keep hollering, and never forget, you are the treasure.